me to do that, I think I get almost the same thing out of it as doing it. But the problem is they'll never be able to, I think about 91 million people without power, without bridges, would have to live. And it's a very, very delicate balance. Yeah. So I think we have a very strong position right now. They know I'm going to do that if they don't make a deal. The bridges are going to be gone. I would say in 2 hours, most of the bridges, the major bridges, will all be gone. And the power plants in 1 day. If I can avoid doing that, I'd like to do that.
Yeah, he could. I mean, we have the wherewithal. We have the missiles and everything else that can do that. But the Iranian side has already said it's an eye for an eye. If you do that, we're going to hit all the infrastructure there, too. Do you think President Trump is not aware of that he doesn't believe it? Or is all of this just posturing and he's not going to do it?
This is the man who said, this war may be over in 3 or 4 days. The Iranian regime, may just implode quickly. If it doesn't, what are we talking about? 2 weeks, 3 weeks? They can't stand up to us. I'm going to make a civilization disappear overnight. I mean, come on. Why listen to anything the man says, right? The man is going to do what Netanyahu wants him to do. Let's be frank. That's where we're headed. What does Netanyahu want? He wants the war to continue. Zelensky is joined at the hip with Netanyahu. They are part of the same cabal. What does Zelensky want? He wants the war to continue. For it to continue, he needs more missiles, more drones that he can hurl at the Russians. Now, let's get real and look at what is and is not possible. Iran's goal in the war, number one, was to survive. They're not deluded. They never harbored any illusions about their real power and influence. They understood that the best they could do was to defend themselves. Dan, they've done that. They've proven that they have survived. They realize that they've won. That was the point of the MOU that Trump signed and then walked away from, unsurprisingly, because it effectively said, okay, you get what you want. You won. We'll go along with it. We'll tolerate it because it's in the interest of the global economy. Well, that went away. He can't tolerate that. Now, what's goal number two for the Iranians? They need to finish the job. And what does that mean to them? That means that you've got to remove the United States from the region. How do you do that? You smash all the bases beyond repair. You make it patently obvious that any attempt to come back into that region and reestablish yourself on the ground is an impossibility. We are not fighting the war we were fighting just a few weeks ago. Donald Trump is fighting a rear guard action to try and preserve what little is left of our military, political, and economic power and dominance. And there's not that much left anymore. His attack on Iran was an acid test for our military power, our strength. We could have avoided it. We didn't need to do it. It was not required. But Netanyahu and his agents in the United States insisted upon it. Trump owes them whatever, and so he's done it. They're back, and they're going to tell him the only way this war ends is with the complete and utter destruction of Iran. I would turn that around and warn everyone that if he indeed does proceed, it's not the end of Iran. It'll finish us in the Gulf. That's absolutely certain, but it will be the end of Israel. And I think that privately, Netanyahu is worried about that, but he doesn't know what else to do. And the simple truth is the same for Ukraine. Either we give them more to sustain them for another month or two, or they too will go out of existence. And if we give them something to sustain them for another month or two, half of which will be stolen and end up in private bank accounts, they too will be destroyed. The handwriting, as we say, is on the wall. Ukraine is destroyed. That nation is finished. And oh, by the way, Iran is victorious, and a new order is going to emerge in the Middle East. And I would tell you that over the next few months, it will be obvious that that new order consists of four powerful states: Russia, China, Iran, and Turkey. I predict that Turkey will finally get off the bench and demonstrate that it is part of that axis. And that is the end of us and the finish of Israel in the region.